Yeah, okay. Can you able to see this slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, last two class we have discussed about the magnetization and permeability. Magnetization with that you have seen that movement of dipole, which is depends on the materials which we are going to use it. Okay, and then we have seen that what is that main uh, in a magnetostatic of permeability, right? So with that we have seen that yesterday's class, and then meanwhile we have seen that what is that boundary conditions also in a magnetostatic, which is similar way of in electrostatic. In electrostatic we have seen that like having on boundary conditions what will be our electric flux density and then electric field intensity when the charge is having on boundary condition line. So similar way here in magnetostatic field, which depends on the main thing on boundary condition. Like similar way in electrostatic field, how we are calculating on boundary condition, and here also in magnetostatic, which we can calculate the magnetic field intensity and then magnetic flux density. Fine, having that boundary conditions, that is having both in mediums, which like medium 1 and medium 2, when like energy transferred from the one medium to the another medium, we'll call it as boundary condition region here. Okay, so for this we'll just to calculate what will be that magnetic field intensity and then what will be our magnetic flux density on the boundary condition line here. So with these things, we have to take that both vectors, and it will be divided into two components. That those things are tangential to the boundary condition line, and then other one is normal to the boundary condition line. Okay, normal is nothing but it is a perpendicular line on boundary condition line. So with this one, in a magnetostatic, we need to study what is the main on boundary condition line of magnetic field and magnetic flux density. Okay, so in this it is going to involve permeability, whereas in electrostatic field permittivity is going to depends, whereas in magnetostatic field permeability, which like having going to exist in the two mediums, those things like having medium 1 and medium 2. So in medium 1 having that mu 1, that is permeability, and in medium 2 having that mu 2 permeability. Okay. So with these things, let us calculate that what is magnetic field and magnetic flux density. Fine. So before calculating that magnetic field and then magnetic flux density, need to calculate on boundary condition. So this is our boundary condition line. Okay, which I'm showing here with a figure like boundary condition. I have drawn it here, and then on this one boundary condition line, so what will be that magnetic field intensity and then similar way magnetic flux density. So after drawing that boundary condition line, which having that medium 1 and the below is medium 2, which is completely magnetic materials depends on that relative permeability how it is. Like magnetic materials which we have seen that already, paramagnet, ferromagnet, diamagnet and so on. Okay. So with that existing of how it will be on boundary condition line. So your main concept to be concentrated only on boundary condition and how it is. So to calculate that boundary condition of magnetic field and then magnetic flux density need to be considered something like in either in Cartesian or spherical or cylindrical. Okay, to be applied here. So to calculate that magnetic field intensity or magnetic flux density, that is normal, which is perpendicular to the on boundary condition line. So for this need to be considered one is Gaussian surface, and if you are going to draw the tangential on boundary condition line. So need to be considered, one is closed path or rectangular box. Okay. So from these two things we can calculate what will be our magnetic field and then magnetic flux density. Okay. So from this two concept, let us evaluate that what is our magnetic field and magnetic flux density. Okay. So which is going to consider that one is Gaussian surface, then other one is closed path. So one is Gaussian surface and then other one is closed path here. So Gaussian surface is nothing but which is completely closed with a cylindrical shape here. So I have now put it that cylindrical shape completely on boundary condition line, which going to exist that half is in the medium 2 half and half is in the medium 1. Okay. So that completely having that the distance is delta h here. Okay. So when we keep this one is half in the medium 1 and the half in the medium 2, so this completely the delta h, which is the height of the cylindrical, so we'll take it as half the delta h by 2 in medium 1 and then half in delta h by 2 in medium 2. Similar way, we take the other one is closed path. So other one is closed path here. So which closed path having completely in medium 1 half distance and then medium 2 in half distance here, which is completely part of here. Now, by considering these two, need to be calculated what is our magnetic field and magnetic flux density. So here we have considered the Gaussian surface. So Gaussian surface is nothing but as a closed path. It is as a ds, that is delta s. So on the top of the cylindrical shape is delta s, and then bottom of the cylindrical surface is delta s here. Then height is delta h. Now considering these two concept, let us calculate first thing is normal component, which is boundary condition and normal component. So to be calculated this boundary condition on normal component, let us find the from this what is the magnetic field and as well as magnetic flux density by considering that Gaussian surface. Okay, we know that we can apply the Gauss law to the cylindrical shape, which we have considered the conductor, that is closed surface integral b bar dot ds equal to 0. That means it is monopole will not exist to the in nature at all. So for this condition, that magnetic field density is going to 0 here completely. So by considering this one, let us evaluate that by applying the Gauss law to the cylindrical shape, which having that what is the top of surface of magnetic field and then bottom of the surface of the magnetic field and then side of the surface of the magnetic field here. Okay. So now by considering this, you can evaluate completely all this overall the integration, top, bottom and lateral. Okay. So which is equal to the 0 here. Now by having this one, we can calculate the what is the total top and bottom and then side of the surface here, which now our main thing concentration on the boundary condition only, not to this one and not to either side of here. Okay, so only on boundary condition we are calculating what is our magnetic field and then magnetic flux density. So which makes this one is cylindrical shape, the delta h tends to 0. Okay, so you can consider this one as delta h tends to 0, and then after considering this delta h tends to 0, you can write it what is that normal magnetic field which is having in the medium 1 and medium 2. So bn1 which is existing in the medium 1. So you can consider as bn1 is nothing but magnetic field normal to the component on boundary condition line, which is normal is nothing but as a perpendicular to the boundary condition line. So bn1 as medium 1 and then bn2 as medium 2. So in other direction is bn2. So this direction is bn1 and opposite to the bn1 is bn2, which is in medium. Okay, that is mu2 here. Now you can calculate what is top surface. So top surface is B bar dot ds from the Gauss law. So Bn1 on all the boundary condition line, Bn1 is constant. So you can take it out or off from the integration here. That is Bn1. Then remaining the top and then ds, which is top surface here. That completely this integration of the closed surface, which is delta s, equal to the Bn1 is delta s. This component constant of delta s here. Now similar way you can consider as the bottom surface. So bottom surface also same thing, like now this bottom surface existing in the medium 2. So medium 2 on which is opposite to the this Bn1. So Bn1 is in this direction. You can see my cursor where I am putting. So Bn1 is in this direction. Okay. And then Bn2 opposite to this Bn1 direction. So here Bn2 can be considered as a negative here because it is opposite. And then Bn2 also everywhere on boundary condition it will be constant. So you can take it out, this one is out of the from the integration. And then bottom ds is equal to the, so bottom ds is nothing but completely this surface area, which is delta s. So Bn2 opposite, that is normal to the on boundary condition, which is delta s here. Then third one is, that is side surface. So side surface, which is almost we are minimizing that delta h tends to 0. So you can make it as side surface is completely 0. But B bar is not equal to 0. So only the surface which we are considering that on boundary condition, the delta h tends to 0 here. Now you can put it into this all the equation, top, bottom, and then side of the surface. So top we got it. This one is, so Bn1 delta s, which is in the medium one, and then bottom is opposite to the this Bn1, which is minus Bn2 delta s, and then this completely side will be getting 0 here. So by taking this all these three, top, bottom, and later, so you can equate this one to 0 completely here. So now you can take right hand side and left hand side, which is now delta s, which we have considered the completely the cylindrical shape. The surface is constant, both bottom and top. So you can cancel out here completely. Now that Bn1 is equal to Bn2. That means which on boundary condition line, this Bn1, which is normal to the on boundary condition of magnetic flux density, which is also equal to the magnetic flux density on the medium 2. Okay, so this you can equate it here. Now you know that the relationship between magnetic flux density and then magnetic field intensity. So between this there is a having that permeability, which is either absolute or relative permeability, which we are going to consider it completely the boundary condition line. Fine. So now you can take that B bar is equal to mu into H bar, and you can substitute here in this equation. So mu1 H n1 and mu2 H n2. So which you can take that further simplify this equation, which is n1 and n2 magnetic field intensity equal to the mu1 by mu2 here. So mu n which mu1 is which is having in the completely which material absolute permeability and then relative permeability. So which is mu naught into mu r1 here. Okay. So similar way mu2 also same thing. So which you get that result as mu r2 by mu r1, which is opposite to the relative permeability here. So this is concept of on boundary condition, which you can calculate the normal to the component, which we have done the magnetic field and as well as magnetic flux density. Okay, so this you can take it here. I think this is here mu2 by mu1. It is not mu1 by mu2. You can see that change it this some equations which having this mu2 by mu1. So mu2 is mu naught into mu r2, and then here mu1 is mu naught and mu r1. So mu naught is existing completely constant over the this completely boundary condition, either in medium 1 and medium 2. So after cancelling that, you get it here mu R2 by mu R1 here. So this is by considering Gaussian surface, and we calculated that what is the normal to the boundary condition line. Now, similar way, let us calculate the tangential component. What is the magnetic field intensity? So you can consider the closed line integral, which is closed path we considered, and having that completely magnetic field intensity dl bar, and then the total current I, which completely that circulating through that wire. Okay, so which this one you can calculate that what is the magnetic field what is the magnetic field intensity to the tangential here. Okay, now so after considering this part which is having here, you can see this figure. Okay, so after considering this closed path which A to B and then B to C, C to D and D to A, and this is also placed like half in the medium one and half in the medium two. So for this condition I have given that name as like where it is touching on boundary condition line 1 and 2 here. So need to be evaluated by considering Ampere circuital law, this one, which is closed line integral h bar dot dl equal to I. Now Ampere circuital law, completely this path need to be considered here. Okay, so now I have divided that this path. Okay, I have divided this path which having this as you can see it. Okay, so which having this completely closed integral, that is Ampere circuital law. So you can evaluate this one is by considering all the lines here, that is A to B and then B to C, C to D and D to A, and then in between you have the B to 2 also and 2 to C also, and then C to D, and here again D to 1 and 1 to A. Okay, so now you can take that completely Ampere circuital law, that integration from this path to the here up to here, that is A to B, plus then again other path is B to 2, again it is divided, half is this one and half is this one. So that is B to 2 plus from this to this, the 2 to C, you can see the 2 to C, and plus C to D, this is C to D, and then D to 1, which is half, it is given here. So D to 1, and then other one is 1 to A. So which having that Ampere circuital law is going to exist here. So you can apply this completely Ampere circuital law. Now before evaluating this completely all 6 integration, that is all 6 elements, incremental length 6 elements here of having closed path. So Hn1 is in medium 1 as we know this, and then Hn2 in medium 2. Okay, so you can consider it here. Then H tangential 1 on boundary condition, this is tangential. So H tangential 1 is in medium 1, and then H tangential 2 is in medium 2. Okay, so now you can evaluate individual by A to B is what. So you can see this graph A to B overall the integration from A to B here. Okay, so A to B overall the integration, and then considering the distance having of this A to B is delta W. Okay, so which is now a tangential component, which is this parallel to the on boundary condition line, we'll call it as tangential. So A to B, so which is I have taken that magnetic field intensity, H is equal to H tangential. Okay, so H tangential 1, and having this delta W. A to B overall the integration is delta W. Now second term is B to 2. So now this B to 2 is normal. This direction is normal. You can see this. B to 2 is normal to the unbounded condition line. So B to 2, you can take that half is placed in the medium one. So let me take it as Hn1 is completely having in the boundary condition line, which is normal to the component. And then after taking this H11 is constant over all this on boundary condition, which is now B22 half each place of the distance. Now overall the integration is delta H by 2 plus. Now third element 2 to C. 2 to C also normal to the component, which having that H N2, and then half it is placed in the medium 2, so which is delta H by 2. Okay, and then minus. So how you got it? Minus here. So C to D. Actually A to B is in this direction, and then C to D is in this direction. So which is nothing but opposite to A to B of CD. You can write it as minus and then H tangential to, which is C to D. This one is placed parallel to the boundary condition line. So H tangential to, H is nothing but H tangential to, and having that overall the integration from C to D is delta W here. And then again you can calculate similar way of here D21, which is minus H N2 delta H by 2, and which is also equal to the other one is 1 to A, which is minus H N1 delta H by 2. So this is the all the 6 line integration of like considering closed path here. Okay, so H11, Hn2, H tangential 1, H tangential 2, which is equal to the that current is I. So current have considering this surface, one surface completely, that surface current density is denoted by K, and then delta W, which is having that completely that surface on the A to B line, which is given that the distance is delta W. We can equate this I is equal to K into delta W. Okay. Now, if you see that further calculation of that in this equation only, which is after writing this all the 6 equation of this closed path, remaining some of the similar equation you can see it here, which is H N1 delta H by 2, and then minus H N1 delta H by 2, which get cancelled here. And then similar way H N2 delta H by 2 minus H N2 delta H by 2. So this also get cancelled here. So after cancelling this, remaining is H tangential 1 delta W and plus H tangential 2 delta W is remained. Okay, so that finally K into delta W H tangential 1 delta W and then minus H tangential 2 delta W here. So completely on this right hand side and left hand side, delta W is constant, which is on the closed path. So you can cancel out this delta W completely after taking common. So which you get now constant on the closed path surface density, which denoted as K here, which equal to H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2. And then further you can write it as this any vector direction H tangential 1 and then H tangential 2. Okay, so which you can take it here, H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2 is equal to A cap N12. Okay, the cross product of the K bar, which is either you can consider any of the coordinate system, this magnitude of this unit vector. So this direction on boundary condition medium 1 or medium 2, which is nothing but 1 2 is of having unit vector in the direction of the normal to the medium 1 and medium 2. Now you can write K is also equal to the H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2, which now having this in terms of the magnetic flux density, magnetic field intensity and then magnetic flux density. That B tangential 1 by mu1 minus B tangential 2 by mu2 equal to K. If a medium that all these mediums are not conductor, which like we have considered the medium 1 and medium 2 on boundary condition line. Okay, so that K also you can keep it as a 0, which not having any conductivity part at all. So from this further you can simplify this equation, which is B tangential 1 by mu1 minus B tangential 2 by mu2 equal to K, and K further you can calculate in terms of magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density. Now keeping this, if the conductor is not medium, so you can calculate, you can take that current density is completely zero, which is H tangential 1 minus H tangential 2 equal to 0 here, and which also equal to the H tangential 1 equal to H tangential 2 on the boundary condition, and B tangential 1 minus B tangential 2 by mu 2 equal to 0 in this you can substitute. Okay. So further you can equate this, and then B n1 by B n2, which is after cross multiplying each other. So mu 1 is mu naught into mu r 1, and then mu naught into mu r 2. So mu naught is constant in both of the medium here. So we'll get final equation in this one. Okay. So those things like having completely unbounded condition like. Okay. So now let us take that one small problem on this one. Okay. So one small problem on this, which is having this part is I think this concept is clear mostly, right? We are doing repeatedly this one. So let me take on boundary condition only with having that magnet field, which is some angle of the alpha 1 is produced here, B1. Similar way, if you consider it here, B2 in medium 2, which is some producing with alpha 2 of magnetic field in the medium 2 here. So this is magnet field in the medium 1 and magnet field in the medium 2. So which having that Bn1 certain angle of the alpha 1, which angle having that alpha 2 with producing the B2 here. Now if you take resultant these two, so this is our Bn1 and this is Bn1 resultant. This we know that perpendicular to the unbounded condition is Bn1, and then tangential to the boundary condition is B tangential 1. That is angle between these two made as alpha 1. Similar way on boundary condition Bn2, and then which is parallel to the this line which is Bn2. So that final resultant as B2. Okay. Now similar way you can write is that what is the equation of from these two graphs, like tan alpha 1 is equal to opposite this alpha 1 hypotenuse and then opposite here. So which is alpha 1 is equal to in terms of tan alpha 1 B tangential 1 by Bn1, which is hypotenuse, okay, opposite and then base here. Similar way you can write alpha 2 B tan 2 by Bn2, which is for this one. Now you can after calculating this, you can calculate tan alpha 1 by tan alpha 2 and substitute here B tan 1 by Bn1 dot that is into here Bn2 by B tangential 2. Okay. So from this you can calculate what is the magnetic flux density in normal to the medium, and then medium 1 and medium 2. Now tan alpha 1 is equal to B tan 1 by B tan 2, which is equal to mu r1 by mu r2. Now here I have given that some values of the mu r1, which is equal to 1, and then similar way mu r2, which is equal to 7,000. So now medium 1, that relative permeability is 1. Then in medium 2, relative permeability is 7,000. Okay, which is like having I have told that magnetic material which you are going to use that in magnet. So that is paramagnet, okay, diamagnet, and then ferromagnet. With these things, you can calculate the what is that having that magnet field strength. So for air, mu r1 is equal to 1, and then again you can consider the mu r2 equal to 7,000 here. So by having this, you can calculate the relative permeability from this equation. Tan alpha 1 by tan alpha 2 is equal to B tan 1 by B tan 2, the tangential over upon, so 1, which is nothing but for air. Mu r1 is equal to 1, which is 1 here. And similar way, you can consider mu r2 is equal to 7,000, which having that more field strength, 1 by 7,000. So after calculating this, if from this graph, if alpha 2 is given 85 degree, which is slightly more more than the that 60 degree, which is 85 degree. Tan alpha 1 you can calculate here. After substituting 85 degree, so alpha 1 is equal to 0.0393 degree, 0.093 degree. So now other one is B tangential is equal to 0. So this you can calculate what it is, main thing, considering of the magnetic field intensity. Okay. So from this you can calculate on boundary condition completely, which having this any problem if it is given. So you can calculate the magnetic field strength how much it is. Okay. So magnetic field strength how much with providing that sum of the angle here. So this one is main, very important on boundary condition, and you can see that's why I've spent more time on this boundary condition line. Okay, of in a magnetostatic, right? So if you are having any doubt, you can ask this one. I think it is clear and it is not complicated also. This boundary condition concept. Okay, if you are having any doubt, you can ask. Okay, and then further we'll be going more about the about inductances. Okay, that inductance also is simply calculation. We can see it. If you are not having any doubt, then I will proceed some other topic, which introduction I will do it today. Anyone is having doubt on this concept? Shall I proceed for next topic?
Yes, sir, you can proceed.
Okay. So this we have seen that all this one, which is in magnetostatic. Now let us calculate the other one is that simple concept of inductance. That inductance either in self-inductance or mutual inductance. We'll see the main concept of in a magnetostatic, self-inductance and mutual inductance here. Okay. So which it is going to depends on the main thing is on conductor or wire. Okay. So the inductance is going to depends on the main thing conductor or wire here. So the wire or conductor will be having some of the certain length, and when it is going to twist it like a coil, and it will becomes like a basic of the inductor. This is our main thing of the inductor, how it is considering one coil, considering one conductor with certain length, and if you twisted it, okay, not in straight conductor, if you twisted it, okay, and it will become a coil, that we'll call it as like a basic of the inductor here. So for every conductor like this, it will carry that current I, and then once that current carries that conductor, it will produce that magnetic field. Okay, so it will produce that magnetic field, and it is going to exist in the self inductance, which is going to exist in the self inductance. So this is the main of the self inductance, how it is going to exist by considering one coil. Like you can see that this main principle in the mutual inductance, that is in transformer action here. When like when you consider this types of the two such coils, if you consider it and placed very close to each other. Okay, so when you place close to each other, then there will exist like a mutual inductance between the two coils while considering. Okay, so when you consider the two such coils, like similar kind of current carrying conductor, one coil, then other also like considering current carrying conductor coil, and if you place together, then it will exist between these two coils are mutual inductance. This is called it as mutual inductance here. So this is the main concept. What is the self-inductance and then mutual inductance. Now, so with considering this self-inductance and mutual inductance, let us take that one simple close conducting one path, like having a circuit, and it will carry the current is I. One closed circuit. Okay, so one closed conducting path which current is carries I, and then once that current carries that I, then magnet field will be produced around the conductor. That we know that in a magnetostatic field. Then the total magnetic flux. Okay, so when the total magnetic flux of that conductor, we can write down in mathematical expression form, that is surface integral b bar dot ds. Okay, so b bar dot ds. So such magnetic flux is producing here. If flux is produced, so given here one small example, you can consider only one coil. So this is one completely one conductor and producing that flux. Once that current carrying the conductor here, which is twisted this completely as a inductor type, and this is producing that magnetic flux. Okay, so this magnetic flux we can write in mathematical expression. Flux is total surface, this total surface, yes, and then magnetic field is producing b bar dot ds, that surface area. You can calculate this in mathematical expression here. So in this circuit, while considering, so if you consider the n turns, that means not only one conductor, like you can consider the n turns of the this coil. If you twist, then magnetic flux produced by the magnetic field B links with each turn of the circuit. How much you consider it twisted that, so that links will be considered with number of turns you consider in the circuit here. So by considering this flux linkage, so we'll take one small definition of flux linkage here. Like how much you consider the n number of turns coil, okay, will how much flux is going to link with that. We'll call it as flux linkage. So with this one flux linkage, we can define as the product of number of turns n, and then after considering n turns, the total flux phi linking each of the turn, we'll call it as flux linkage. So it is going to denote as the lambda. So lambda is equal to that number of turns while you are considering that conductor twisting, and then flux produced by that conductor here after twisted, which is nothing but as a flux linkage. That lambda is equal to n into phi here. So which unit if you write it, so which is having flux is Weber, and then n turns, which is the Weber turns here. Shortcut we can mention it Weber turns here. That is lambda. So with this we can see that one is main concept of the what is the inductance between this one. So inductance you can define as the total number of turns which is a flux linkage to the current flowing through the circuit is call it as inductance. So how much you are considering that number of turns, and then after considering the number of turns and that flux produced by it, okay, or upon the current. Once that current flowing through the, so you can see that magnetic flux will be produced. That is n into phi or upon I, which with a certain distance of producing that magnetic flux, which is n phi by I, which is also equal to the lambda by I. And we'll take it unit as Henry. This we are going to measure in the unit here. So this inductance will also call it as self-inductance, which by itself is going to produce, we'll call it as self-inductance. And then which is Henry of inductance of the unit, which also equal to the, you can take that unit of this n into phi by I. So n into phi is unit is Weber turn over upon that ampere, which equal to the your Henry. By consider how much Weber you are going to consider, and how much turns you are going to consider, and then what is that current is flowing through that, which equal to the Henry unit. So this is the main concept of inductance. Okay. So I will stop today here up to this one. I think madam is waiting to take class after I finish, because afternoon you have the